Okay, everybody able to see my screen?
Yes, bro.
Okay, so yesterday we have started with just DevOps introduction. What exactly DevOps is? So in the entire DevOps, they are going to talk you about the CI/CD. So continuous integration, continuous deployment, and continuous delivery. Okay, so developers are continuously committing the code. So we need to use some DevOps tools. So continuously we can deploy the code to the multiple environments like dev, SIT, UAT, production. And delivery is nothing but we are delivering something to the customer. Okay. So in order to implement this CI/CD process, we are going to use a lot of tools in the real-time scenarios. These tools in the as a DevOps engineer in the real time, nobody will work on all the tools. So these many tools are there. So each and everything I need to remember it. So that is not the use case. We should have knowledge on each and every tool, but when it comes to the project wise, we are not going to work on each and every tool. So somebody may work on completely on the Ansible side. Some project will be completely working on the Docker and Kubernetes. Some people are completely working on the Terraform. Some people are working on the Git side, Git and Jenkins. Okay, so like that, it would be a combination of one or two to three teams will be there, but we can't guarantee that this tool only will be working on the project side. Okay, so in order to do our practical sessions, and I want to learn all the tools like I have, as I mentioned. So we are going to have okay. So these are the things we are going to cover in the training. So real-time scenarios. So if everybody expectations in the training is right, so I have gone through some real-time scenarios. My friend is working on the DevOps side, so his tools are different. Okay, so everything if you are purchasing any tool, so there are two things will be there. So one is licensed version, another one is free version. So in every training you go, so we will be seeing only the free versions. So directly we can download from the internet, we can start using it. But in the IT company, they will go with licensed versions. Okay, so that is the reason when it comes to the free tools and the licensed version, so licensed versions will have the more features, but free version doesn't contain extra features will be there. Okay, so here in our training, everything will go with free tools. So directly we can download from the internet and we can start working on it. So in order to practice all these things, I want to practice Docker, I want to practice Ansible, everything. So somebody systems in the local system, they go with Windows system, they will go with Mac, Apple, Linux, anything. So we can't guarantee that what are the setup we are telling here. So that may have a compatibility issues. So somebody is go with the old system, Windows 7. Somebody have a Windows 10. So that's the reason what we are doing. So we are not going to work with your local machine. So no need to install every time Java. Once you set up the Java, again we need to uninstall it. We need to install the Java again. So that's the reason whatever the practice sessions, what are the practice we are having it. So we are doing our entire practice in AWS cloud. So we are not touching our local machine. Local machine, we are not doing any installation, any configurations, nothing we are going to do it. So everything we are going to choose our servers. We are going to create a Windows server or Linux server, which are the server you wanted. So we are going to set up every server setup in the cloud itself. So once your practice is done, we can delete it. Okay, because it's like a pay and use. So first time we are using it. So we have like 750 plus hours are free for it. So as you part of the people are first time using the AWS account, so only one service we are going to use it. So that one service is easy to for all our practice sessions. What are the practice sessions which are going to teach in this training? So we are going to use in the AWS cloud. So we are going to teach only one service. We should know how to create a server, how to log into the server. So that information, if we get it, so we are good with the AWS. So we are not going to touch other services in AWS. So we are going to teach you only one service, that is EC2. Okay. So let's comes to the, so just go to the browser and type AWS Management Console. So first of all, I don't have an AWS account. I don't have anything. So just have a laptop and internet with me. Okay. So just go to the browser, type AWS Management Console from the browser. So once you open it, you will get the link. Okay. So just click on the sign into the console button. So once you click onto the sign up button, so here we have the option to create a new AWS account. I don't have AWS account, so I want to set up the new AWS account. Just click on create new AWS account. Okay. So this is the first stage of your account creation. So here we require personal information, we need to provide it. Like your email ID. Okay. What type of account name you are required. So something like your name is something Kiran. So we can provide as a Kiran as your personal email address. Okay. So what is your root user email address? Here we need to give a personal email address. And what is your account name you require? So that account name, something like Kiran means we can provide Kiran. Like this. Provide genuine details, don't give the fake details. Okay. So what are the email ID you are providing it? For this email ID, you will get the updates. So your payment details, your update. Okay. Update information. Okay. AWS related information, everything will get it. So to this personal email ID. So total 5 to 6 stages will be available. Each stage we need to fill only the mandatory fields. Whatever the mandatory fields are there, just fill the mandatory fields. Like city, state, country, pin code. Okay. So this personal information only they will ask you. So one more question is like, so are you maintaining an organization or for personal use? So this account you are setting for your company purpose or using for your personal purpose. Okay. So are you a student? Are you owning a company? Okay. So in that options, we need to select the student option. And you are maintaining any organization? No, it is for my personal use. So these two options we need to select in the next options. Once you provide these details, so we have almost 5 stages will be there. So we need to complete this setup process. So once you do it, at the final step, it will ask for bank details. Card details, it will ask it. Don't worry about the security part. Okay. Your information will be secured there. So if you feel that you are a salaried employee, so you are feeling that I want to more secure. So give your friend card or your father or any relative person. You can take the card details and you can provide the card details. So they are going to debit 2 rupees from your account. Again, they will credit it to check whether you are really genuine person or not. Okay. So why? Because so many people are creating the account, they are creating the resources and they are terminating the account. They are deleting the account. So in that cases, AWS, what they are doing it, so they want to make more securely. So they want to take the candidate information. The person who is set up in the account, so they want to take the information. So in the final step of account creation, they are asking for your card details. So once you enter your card details, and it will be supported only few card types like Visa type. So once you provide these card details, these card details Able to see my screen, guys? Hello? Everybody
Yeah,
able
it
to
is
see my
visible.
screen?
Yeah, it is
Yes,
visible.
bro. Yeah. It's showing now.
Okay. Okay. So at the final step of your account creation, it will ask for the card details, and the card details also like a few card types only will be supported. So once you provide the details only, the account creation, the activation, it will take 20 to 30 minutes. So previously it is about 2 hours, above 1 hour is there. So now they have reduced the time also. So within the 30 to 30 minutes, your account will be activated. Max 30 minutes. So just we need to give the basic information, your personal email ID, your name, and your where you are staying, what is your current address, what is your state, country, pin codes, those personal information we need to share it. Okay. At the final step, this is very important. So we need to provide the card details. No need to worry because I also did the setup on my account name. I also provided my card details. So this is a MNC company, Amazon. So we can trust it. We can provide the card details. Okay. So they check the person is genuine or not. So if you feel that I don't want to maintain the AWS account, so we can use other. I don't want to provide any card details. I want to feel more secure. Okay, so we can use your friend account. So if anybody your friend circle or anybody is already did the AWS account, you can ask his credentials and you can start using AWS. So for our practice, we required one AWS account. That's it. Either you can create your account or you can use your friend account also. Okay, so just we required one AWS account for us. Okay, so once you verify these details, so we have the next step will be there, and in the next screen, we will be filling your mandatory fields. Only doubt you people will get it that so we are whether we are maintaining our organization, we are using it or for personal use. Choose the personal or student wise. Okay. So once your account is setup is done, so to the registered email ID only, your they will send an AWS company will be sending an email saying that your account has been activated. You can start exploring the AWS. Okay, so once your account is activated, so same thing we can type to the AWS management console. Okay, so instead of creating a new account, so we will go with sign in. Okay, so whatever the email ID is there, just click on the sign in. So just already have done the setup. So whatever the user ID and email ID you have set up, so that email ID and password we need to provide it. Okay, so they will send an email saying that your account has been activated. Once your account is activated, so then we have to go with AWS account. Okay, so here very important thing is like, so whatever the name you have used it. So one more thing is like billing dashboard. So if you go to the billing, so you can see the bill. So how much time you spend on to the AWS account, how many resources you have created, how many resources are in the running state. So based upon that, they are going to calculate the bill for you. Okay. So once you finish the 750 hours, they are start billing for you. Okay. But for your training maximum, you will get 100 or 200 rupees for you. Okay. You don't get that much beyond that one. Okay. So billing. So click on the bill section. So this is the estimated bill. Okay. So for this current month, so what are the services I have used it? So total active services, I'm keep on using 15 services. I've keep on using it. So based upon the services usage, they are going to calculate the bill for us. So the billing will be not in the INR. They are going to calculate in the dollar wise. Okay. So here you can see EC2. If you expand it, Mumbai. These many hours I spend it. 83 hours I spend on this server. Okay. So Mumbai. That's clear. So when it comes to the Tokyo, 27 hours, 5 hours, what hours. So based upon the number of hours, they are going to calculate the amount for us. Okay, so total billing for this EC2 module 5.4C. This is the estimated bill for this current month. Okay, so if you want to go with, click on the payment section. So once you click on the payment section, so every payment details for every month will comes here. Okay, so you will be getting one link here saying that this current month bill is this much. If you don't pay this bill, your account will be suspended. Okay, for example, you have started exploring the AWS. So I want to practice these things. I want to explore some services. So based upon your usages, so the bill will be generated. So if you are not paying the bill on time, like our bill will be 30 days. Okay, they will give grace period like 45 days. So if you're not billing, they will send an email saying that your account will be suspended. Means you don't have any access to your AWS account except the billing model. Until you pay the bill, your account will be not activated again. Okay, so if you see the transaction section, so these are the every month transactions I am paying the bill. When it comes to the June month, July month, August. Okay, July 3rd, July bill, I'm paying in the August. August bill, I need to pay in the September. Okay, so every month I will getting the bill. I'm giving a lot of trainings. So I am using this account from almost more than 6 years. So even I'm getting the bill this much. Based upon my usage, based upon my trainings, I'm getting this much bill. So I've converted the USD to INR. So you can, okay. So for every month, you will get the bill here. So here we get the pay option now. So click on the pay now option and we can pay the bill. So whatever the linked card is there, so you can provide the linked card details. Already we have linked the card here. So just we need to provide the pay now and pay the bill. Okay, in order to make a smooth activities in your AWS account. So this is very important. Every 1 week we need to come here and check it. So how much usage you are doing it, everything we can keep a track of your resources work here. So how much bill you are going to generate it, which are all the services we have working it, how much time you are spending on each thing. So how much bill is generated for each thing, we can see it. Okay. This is my estimated bill in the dollars. 5.47. Okay. So if you see here, so in our training, entire DevOps training, so we are going to work with only single service, that is EC2. So this EC2 is virtual servers. How we are maintaining your local machine, same thing we can create our virtual servers. So just go to the search bar, search for the EC2, or we can click on the services, go to the compute section, compute also we can see the EC2. Okay, so from the service section, click on the compute and go to the EC2, or search, go to the directly in the search bar, search for EC2. So this is EC2 is one kind of a service in AWS. It will help us to create a virtual servers. So how your local machine is there, either you are using Windows, Linux, anything. Okay, same identical servers we can create it. Okay, so it is providing a platform for us, okay, to create a virtual service. All our practice sessions will be happening in this EC2 server. Okay, so this is a one time of activity, everything which we are doing it. So first time we tell each and every information in detailed way. So next time onwards, we'll directly launch the servers and we'll directly log into the servers. So this is the EC2 dashboard. So whenever you are working anything, all the resource information we can see in the dashboard level. Instances, running instances, elastic IP, load balancers, volumes, everything. So these information we don't require. So we are mainly focusing on the instances. Okay, so we can launch the instances in a number of ways. We can launch the instance from here. So we can click on the instances. From there itself, we can launch the instances. So launching the instances, we have certain steps are there. So whenever you are purchasing any laptop or desktop, anything, so we will see certain information like operating system, RAM, storage, right? So these information will be seeing. So I want to work with Windows 10. I want to go with RAM 8 GB or 16 GB, 32 GB, 64 GB, and storage. How much storage is required? 1000 GB, 2000 GB, 500 GB hard disk. Okay. So how we are going to have a prerequisite is to get your new laptop or desktop. Same here also, if you are creating a virtual servers, so we are going to use the same options here, but the terminology and naming conventions are different here. So when it comes to the operating system, so in the EC2, we are not going to call it as operating systems. So we are going to call it as a AMI. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image. So this is nothing but in our language, we can call it as an operating system. But as per the AWS language, we are going to call it as an AMI. So they will talk about which AMI you have selected. Okay. So for our understanding, we can remember it's a operating system. Which operating system you want to work on it. So it will be supported multiple operating systems like Windows, Linux. Again, in the Linux, we have a multiple flavors are there. Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, Fedora. Okay, so in the mobile, we have a different kind of a mobile things are there. Each company, they will establish their own company. So the functionality wise, everything is same. Calling, receiving the call, calling, receiving the call. Same thing here also, the flavor is same, Linux. But each company, they have approached with their own operating system. So they have specified their own company name with different kind of a flavors. So in the Linux, we have a different kind of a flavors are available. So each flavor will be based upon the requirement we need to choose it. Okay, so here we have one more option called free tier eligibility. So free tier eligibility is for practice. So this free tier eligibility we can only use for practice purpose. If you are giving any kind of a training, so if you want to do any kind of a POCs, so generally the people will go with free tier eligible. But in the real time scenario, so we will not go with the free tier, we will go with the licensed servers. Okay, so here the first step during the server creation, so we are going to see the information called AMI. So next thing is we are going to see instance type. So instance type is nothing but RAM. AMI is nothing but operating system. So these are the terminology of AWS. Our terminology is operating system. But for AWS terminology, we are not going to call it as a operating system. We are going to call it as a AMI, Amazon Machine Image. So if you check here, the first step, so we can launch the instance a number of ways. We can click here. So we can go to the instances. We can click on the launch instance. So wherever you see the information called launch instance, just will click the launch instance. Here we can see the multiple information. So first information we need to talking about the AMI, Amazon Machine Image. It's nothing but operating system. Which operating system you want to work it? So we can select the respective operating system. Red Hat, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Linux. AWS is providing one more Linux, SU Linux, Debian. Okay, so these are the different type of operating systems that was providing by the AWS. Which operating system you want to work it? So this operating system we can select it. For example, if you are selecting the Linux, just click on that one. If you are going to work on the Windows, select the Windows. Just highlight it. That's it. So once you select it, we have a drop down saying that we have a different type of operating systems with different types. You can see Windows Server 2020 base, core base, these are the. So wherever you see the free tier eligibility, these are for practice purpose or trading purpose. These free tier eligibility service are like a practice servers. The first time I'm using it AWS account, I want to explore something. Okay, so for every services, they are going the free tier eligibility. So in that cases, we can use that free tier eligibility for practice purpose. So if we go with the license versions, except the free tier eligibility, so whatever the server name, I want to go with the Windows server with SQL Server installation. So if you select this server, we are not seeing any free tier eligibility. So this server is a licensed version. Okay, so license versions are getting more bill. So they are going to calculate per hourly based. How much time you are spending? 30 minutes an hour. So they are going to calculate a 30 minutes bill. Okay. So these are the, we have to choose free tier eligibility. So which operating system you want to work it, that operating system we can select it. Inside this operating system, we have a multiple things are there. So for each AMI, so we have a AMI ID is there. So the AMI ID is like AMI something, some number like this. Okay, so why this required AMI ID? So when you are doing any kind of automation, so we are not doing the hard coding part like Windows, Linux, we are not doing it. So which operating system you are going to work it? So we have to refer with your AMI ID on. Okay, before this one, we missed one more thing, that is regions and availability choice. So regions is nothing but AWS has established the data center in different countries. Okay, so around the world, not only the India, if you take any country, Asian countries, other foreign countries, you take it. So AWS is start expanding their own data centers. Okay, so if you are launching any server from this particular thing, so we are, first of all, we need to connect with particular region. So the region name we can see here in the right top corner, we can see the list of all the regions. So when we click on the drop down, we can see the region list. Okay, so these are called as regions. In the US, we have 4 regions are there: US West North Virginia, US East Ohio region, US West California, US West Oregon. Okay, so each in this Virginia region, AWS has established their own data center. So if you connect with the, if you select the this particular data center, means we are creating a resources in this particular data center. Okay, so currently I have selected the Tokyo region. I'm creating a resources in the Tokyo data center. So we can switch from one data center to other data center. So we can suppose if you look out to the India, we have 2 data centers are there. So one is in Mumbai. Recently they have launched in Hyderabad. Only 2 data centers are available in India side. Check out Mumbai. Okay, so if you see here, instances you see here. So currently the Tokyo region, one instance is running. This is something like a Kubernetes server. This server is running. Same thing if you see here in the Mumbai region. So currently in which region I'm in? I'm in the Mumbai region. I don't see any instance details. So everything UI and everything looks same, but we are not in the Tokyo region. We are in the Mumbai region. So the people will do the common mistake. So they will create a resources in particular region and they will look the resources in another region because everything looks same. Only the except the region name. Okay, so whenever you are creating any kind of a resources in AWS, so we should be careful with currently in which region you are there. So the default region is North Virginia. Okay, so if you click on the North Virginia, same UI will be there. Okay, so these are called as a region-based service. EC2 is a region-based service. So for each region, we have the same kind of a service. So if you click on the dashboard here, EC2 dashboard, I can go with the North Virginia. I can see security groups. We have 2 values are there. So if you go to the Mumbai region, security groups 2 are there. But when it comes to the Tokyo region, I have instances 1, key pairs 1, security groups 4. Okay, so the UI, everything will look same for each region. But whenever which region you are working on it, so if you create something like I have created a one instance here. So you have created a resource in Tokyo, but you are checking in the Mumbai region. You come here and check the instances like this. And you will feel that my resource is gone. Somebody has accidentally deleted it. So there is no chance of deleting it. Okay, so in which region you are currently there, so that region only we need to be focused. Okay, so in entire training, I'm going to use Tokyo region. So as your wish, you can choose any one of the region. What are the options we are seeing in the Tokyo region? Every option will be available in the respective region. Okay, so this is the way region. So for each region, also we have the region code. Okay, so if you want to create a resources in Mumbai region, okay, so for each region, we have the region code that is unique. Okay, so the region code information, we can see it from the drop-down list itself. So for example, North Virginia means US East 1. So these why region codes are provided. So this is manual work. So if you are going to create through automation work, so in that cases, we don't want to specify the North Virginia. So we can specify the North Virginia by providing the region code. US East 1 is the region code for North Virginia. And if I want to create a resources in Tokyo, I need to know the region name, Northeast 1. So if you click the Northeast 1, so we can get the region code from here. So if you feel that if you do some mistakes, so we can copy the region code like this. This is my Tokyo. For each region, we have a region code will be there. Okay. So next, once we region we have it, we have a availability zones. So what is meant by availability zone? So for example, this is my region. This is my region. For example, Tokyo. So my region contains region code. So what AWS is doing? So they are established the data center, planning to already establish the data center in the Tokyo region. So again, within the region, they have sub data centers are available. So within 6 to 10 kilometers, so they will have a sub data centers are available. Okay. So these we are going to call it as a sub data center. So we are going to call it as a availability zone 1. Okay. So one more sub data center within the same region. So this is called as a availability zone 2. Okay. So for every region, there will be minimum 2 availability zones will be there. For every region you take, there will be minimum 2 availability zones will be there. So max up to 6 availability zones. Means 6 data centers, 6 sub data centers will be there. And if you are taking the availability zone information, so I want to create a resources in which availability zone. So there will be a like whatever the region code is there. So with the help of the region code, North, East. So whatever the one is there, so they are going to append some alphabetics. Yeah, like this. So this is my availability zone 1 code. So if you take like this, 1C, 1D, 1E, 1F, 1G. Okay, so for this particular region, I have 2 data set, 2 availability zones means the availability zone code may be 1A, 1C, 1D, 1C. Okay, so like that they will provide it. So if you want to see the information of how many regions and each region, how many availability zones are there, so we can type region and you can see all the information. So this is around the global. So whatever the green color is there, so we can see over here region, we can see availability zones 3. So if you want to check out, just click on the green symbol. Wherever you see the green symbol, California, Oregon, minimum 3 is there. Here, if you see the Oregon region, availability zones are 4. So I told minimum 2, maximum 6. So the range of values of availability zones should be 2 to 6 in between. Always it should have minimum 2. We can't see the availability zone as 1. Okay, so it should contain at least 2 availability zones. Maximum is 6. Okay, so if you take North Virginia, you can see. Okay, you can see North Virginia availability zones is 6. 6 availability zones are there. Means 6 data centers, sub data centers are available in the North Virginia. Okay, so like this. This is North America information. Okay, this is the information. So where we can see the availability zone information. For example, this is my region code. Tokyo is my region code. So where I can see the availability zone information. So how many availability zones are there? So Tokyo region. So when we're clicking on the instances, so when we click on the launch instance, okay, so my region code is AP Northeast 1. For this region, how many availability zones are there? So you have to come to the networking section. So here we have the networking settings are there. Just click on the networking. Expand it. So here we can see the subnet information. Network. So here we can see the subnet. So in that subnet, we can see the availability zone information. 1A, 1C, 1D. So for Ohio region, Tokyo region, we have 3 availability zones. So 3 availability zones, region codes are 1A. We don't have 1B here. So we have 1C and 1D. So if you don't select any option, so it will select randomly, it will pick the availability zone. So if you want to go with a specific availability zone, we have to manually select the availability zone. Okay, so that is about the regions and availability zones. So this is very important and interview question. Okay, so they will ask in the interview, can you tell me the regions and availability zones? What is meant by region? So what is the availability zone? So how many availability zones are available? So what is the minimum availability zones? How many maximum availability zones have it? So what is the region code? What is the availability code? Availability zone code. Okay, so like this. So region code is this thing and availability zone is 1A, 1C, 1D. So for Tokyo region, we have 3 availability zones. So just they will append the letters here. 1A and one more is we have 1C and we have one more D. Okay, so these are the availability zones for Tokyo region. Same thing if you go for the Mumbai region. So Mumbai region code will be separate and Mumbai region availability zones code will be separate. Like that. So every region will be having and each region will having the separate region codes. Okay, so this is first part and next part is billing. Billing is very, very important. So if you are really interested, I want to go with servers. So if you create a servers and if keep on running it. So in the background process, the billing will be keep on running it. So once you get the bill, you will get shocked. Okay. So whenever you are working on any activity, once practice is done, either you need to delete it. Okay. Next thing is questions part. Okay. Operating system, we are going to call it as an AMI ID here. So we have to choose AMI ID details. Okay. So which AMI you are working on it? Okay, so which operating system we are going to work on it? So we have to choose the AMI ID details. So we are not going to talk operating systems in the real-time scenario. So we are going to talk about AMI only. But for our understanding purpose, so internally for our understanding, so we have to remember the name AMI as internally for remembering, we are talking about operating system. But as per the AWS terminology, they are not going to talk about the operating system. They are going to tell about AMI, Amazon Machine Image. So which operating system you are willing to work it, either Linux, Ubuntu, Red Hat, Sensive. So we can choose respect to operating system. If you want to work on the Ubuntu, Ubuntu is a one flavor of Linux. Ubuntu has a different versions of it. Okay. So even if you are telling in the interview, so which operating system you have worked on it. So if you tell that I worked on the Ubuntu, I worked on the CentOS, I worked on the Red Hat, I worked on the SUSU, Fedora, like this. So immediately they will ask it, what are the versions you have worked on it? For example, I have chosen the AMI as a Ubuntu. So in this, current versions are like current versions are like 18 version 2022. So if you are telling which operating system you worked means I worked on the Ubuntu means immediately they will ask it. So what is the latest version you worked on the Ubuntu side? So if you tell 7, 8, so randomly if you're telling means it's gone. Okay. So if you really worked on the particular operating system, so if you have the knowledge on the respect operating system, then only tell in the interview. So if you tell that Ubuntu, so we need to have the at least basic information, what are the current versions of it. Okay. So if you see 22, 22, 20, and previously we have 18 also, they have removed it. Okay. So they will come with the latest versions. So same thing if you take for other operating systems also. So if you go with the Red Hat, so Red Hat comes with version 9. Okay, 9. So if you really worked on it, we have to go with the operating system. So in that case, currently I'm going with Ubuntu. So just to go with any free tier. Any free tier you choose it. So what are the free tier options are there? I'm going with the free tier. That's it. So I'm selected the Ubuntu 22.4 version. Okay. So if you want to do the programmatically same operating system, I want to go with automation work. So in that cases, we have to tell to the team. So this is my AMI ID. We need to get the information. So if you are planning for automation works, this AMI ID details we need to provide to work with the Ubuntu 22.04 free version. Okay. So this we are selecting manually. So next thing is we have instance type. RAM. RAM is the terminology we are going to use for our internal purpose, but real-time scenario, they are going to talk about the instance type. Instance type is nothing but for this Ubuntu operating system, how much RAM you want to allocate it. Okay, it is providing a platform, it is providing the various options for us. So we have to pick the options for us and which operating system you want to, which server you want to launch it. So just we need to choose the options from it. So how much RAM you want to allocate to your server? So that can be done via instance type. Okay, so if you see the drop down list, we can see n number of RAMs. 0.5 GB, 1 GB, 2 GB, 4 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB, 182 GB, 96 GB. So if you see that only maximum 8 GB, 16 GB, 32 GB. So if you want to go with 64 GB, if you want to upgrade your own server, every time you need to go to the marketplace, or if you need to go to the, you need to put an order. I want to upgrade, my system is slow, 8 to 16 GB, 16 to 32 GB, 32 to 64, 128, like that. So here, RAM selection also we can do it in our hands only. So we can go with based upon your application, based upon your system. Okay, they have designed the RAMs. So if you are handling the databases, if you are handling the cache applications, if you are handling the big data applications, if you are applying the analytics based application, performance based. Okay, so we can go with the RAM. So if you are handling the gaming based applications, so in that cases, they are providing AWS has chosen the different kind of RAM selection is there. So you can choose any type of RAM which are required for our project. So basically we will go with pre-tier. 1 GB is enough for our training purpose. Okay, Ubuntu RAM selection. So next, storage. How much storage you require for it? Okay, now instance type, multiple instance types is selected. Now I am going with 1 GB. Going with only free tiers, not with the license version. But in the real-time scenarios, these are not recommended. We have to go with licensed. Only training purpose, we are choosing this free tiers. Okay, so next we have storage. So for Windows, default storage is 30 GB, and for Linux, default GB is 8 GB. So this we are going to call it as a root volumes. So for every operating system, we have a drives, C drive, root volumes we are calling it. So how much volume is required based upon the free tier eligibility? So once you select the free tier eligibility, automatically storage. So I have selected the Linux machine. So default GB, default storage is 8. So if you want to increase it, so we can increase the storage. Okay, so just to go to the storage volume, how much storage you require for your root volume. If you want to go with 100, you can go with 100, 200. And if you want to add a drives like C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive, how we are during the booting process. So we are doing the partitions for our operating systems. So here we no need to do any partitions, no need to do any kind of selections here. So directly we have the add new volume section is there. So we can keep on adding the volumes. This is one drive. So if you want to add one more volume, keep on adding the volumes. How many drives you require? So just we'll keep on adding the volumes for your servers. Okay, so even if you want to modify the volumes in the future, we can modify it. Okay, everything is a user interface. No need to do any kind of a coding. I need to know how to boot the process, installation process. Nothing will be there. Just we need to know the options and terminology here. Okay, so as per trading, I'm going with a default storage 8 GB. Okay, so next thing is key pairs. These key pairs are very, very important. What is meant by key pair? Key pair is nothing but it's like a login mechanism. So here we don't have any kind of a concept called passwords. We don't have any kind of a concept called passwords. So we have a concept called key pair. So key pair is nothing but, so we have to have two key pairs are there. So one is public key, another one is private key. So public key will be residing in the server. So we have to download the private key. So during the login mechanism, so we no need to provide the password. So we have to provide the key, private key. So how to download the file, how to log in it. So if you want to log into the particular server, we have to log in with this private key. So there is a concept called key pair. So we can create a new key pair or we have to go with existing key pairs. Okay. One key pair can be used for a number of servers. Single key pair, either it is a Linux or Windows. So same key pair can be used for all our servers. So in our training, we will download one key pair. That key pair can be used for all servers. So just click on create new key pair. So what are the key pair name we are giving? Devops, 7am batch. Any naming conventions you can provide it. Just we can give the one name of the key pair. Just click the download the key pair. So there are two formats are available here. So one is .pem, another one is .ppk. Okay, so if you are logging with the server, so if you are every time we will use the ppk file to connect to the server. But what we will do, so we can log into the server by using a number of tools. Sometimes we require PEM file, sometimes we require ppk file. So in that cases, what we will do, so we will download the file in the PEM file. So if you require, we can convert the PEM file to the ppk file. So just we'll go to the same. So I'm going with PEM extension. Just click on create a key pair. So key pair got downloaded. So if you go to the download section, the extension of the file is PEM file. Okay. So next, this is a key pair. So one more important thing is security groups. Security groups are nothing but it's like a firewalls. Okay, so if you want to connect to the particular server, the system will not understand your IP address. So how you have identity? So my identity is like a PAN card, Aadhaar card is my identity. So if you're working in a school or if you're working in an organization, your identity is employee ID, school ID, roll number. So these are the identities for ourselves. But when it comes to the system related things, so system identity is IP address. Okay, so if you want to identify your system, I want to connect to your system means, So you will be identified your system with help of your IP address. So for example, I want to know my IP address. So go to the Windows CMD, just type IP config. So you can see your IP4 address. This is my local system IP4 address. So even if you don't know how to write this command, so you can just go to the browser and what is my IP. If you type it, that will give the current IP address wherever you're running this. Okay. This is my IP. Okay. So this information will get it. So for every system identified, so your system, my system, everybody's system, so they are going to identify it or communicate with the help of the IP address. So in this IP address, we have two types of IP address are there. One is public, another one is private. Public is everybody can access. Private is nothing but within the organization level. So in your company, you are working in some X company. So X company, they will provide only the private IP address for you. So if you want to access the same system outside of your company network, so we have to go with public IP. Okay, so the two IPs will be there. Internally, private IP, if you want to communicate the same server outside of your company network, so they will provide the public IP. Okay, so this public IP, private IP, and this IP address, why we are discussing it. So for example, this is my local system. So this is my local. So this is my local system. It may be a Windows or Linux, anything. So this is AWS system. AWS. This is one of the AWS server. I have launched one AWS server. So from my local machine, I'm trying to connect to the AWS server. So one is either Windows server or Linux server, Linux to Linux, Windows to Windows, anything you take it. So if you want to connect from my local machine to the Windows, so my IP address, if it is registered here, then only this server will understand that. So whenever I'm trying to send a request to this server, my IP address is if registered in this AWS server, so it will tell that, okay, this server IP address is registered with me. I can provide access to him so that he can access the particular server. If this IP address is not there here, what will happen? So we'll get that. So you don't have access to the server, you will get the rejection. Connection refused. Okay. So this allowing the IP address. So for example, one system to one system, Linux system, if you are connecting, so the default, we are connecting via SSH. From one system to the, if you are connecting to the any Linux system, so we are connecting via SSH. So the default port of SSH is 22. If that SSH port is 22 is enabled in this server and my IP address is registered it, then only I can access it. So those type of rules we can define under the security groups. Okay, security groups are nothing but it's a firewalls. Incoming request, outgoing request. So incoming request is nothing but, so my server is trying to connect to the AWS server. So whenever you register your IP address with which port we are connecting it. I'm connecting via SSH, the 22 port and my IP address is enabled, then I can access this server. So default it is enabled here. So no need to go with a 22 port is default is enabled. So just click on the launch instance. That's it. Only the few options will select it, key pair, security group, these things. If you want to create your own security group also, so we can come here, click on the security group. Create a security group. So here we can see the two types of rules. One is inbound rules, another one is outbound rules. Inbound rules are nothing but incoming requests. Outbound rules are nothing but once you log into the server, I want to perform some request to the database. Some database. So this is outbound rules. This is inbound rules. Okay. So if you want to provide any communication, it just will add the rule. my IP. This is my IP address. So which port I want to connect it? I want to connect via SSH 22, like that. So just we will give one security group. That's it. Okay. So each security group will have the security group ID. Inbound rules. Okay. So this is the one. So when it comes to the, go to the dashboard, click on instances running or instances. Now you can see, just now we have launched one instance. So this will be the running state. And when we can log into the server, so we can log into the server when the status check comes 2 by 2. So internally, it will take 2 to 3 minutes to make the server is getting ready. So next time onwards, directly we'll provide the details like IME details, key pair, security groups, storage. Okay. Now, next part is we got the status check 2 by 2. Means the server is ready. We can log into the server. Okay. So here we need to take care about. So if you want to connect it from this server to this server, from my local machine to my local machine is currently Windows. Now I want to connect with the Linux. So here there is a third-party tool called Putty. So Putty is one kind of a software which help us to third-party tool. It's a one-time of activity, download it. So this tool will help us to connect to your Linux server. So just we'll go to the browser, Putty download. Download the Putty. So wherever you see this symbol, click on the download Putty. Okay, so here we need to be focused on the operating system bit. So if it is your 32-bit or 64-bit. Okay, so just go to the system, click on this PC, click on show more options, click on the properties. So once you click on the properties, you can see the information here. System type. Okay, so based upon your system, you need to check your properties. So if it is a 32-bit or 64-bit. So mine is 64-bit. So what I will do, I will click on the 64-bit x86. So I will click this one. It will come to the download folder. Click next, next, next. It will be installed. So once it is done, you can see this symbol. So this is the putty. Okay. So just to check your system configuration, whether it is 32-bit or 64-bit. So just click this link. So it will be downloaded. So just click on the next, next, next. That's it. Go to the downloads, click on refresh. Yeah, it got downloaded. Okay, so just click on double click. So click next, next, next. So it will be downloaded. So along with the putty, so one more software will be automatically downloaded with putty. So that is once you type the putty, so along with the putty, we can see one more software like putty gen. So this no need to install additionally. So it comes along with putty only. So once you open the putty gen, so this will software will help us to convert the file from PEM to PPK. So in order to log into the server via putty, so the file, it is expected the extension will be the PPK, not the PEM file. But in your local machine, you can see our file is PEM file. So to convert this PEM file to the PPK file, so we need to download the putty. It's a one kind of activity. So you can open the putty key generator. So this is additionally no need to install. It comes along with your putty only. So once the putty installation is done, type the putty in the search box. You can see the putty gen. Open the putty gen. So here we have the load option is there. So just click on the load. Okay, so you can go to the downloads folder where you have downloaded your PEM file. So basically it is looking for the PPK file. So open this drop down and click on all files. Now you can see your PEM file. Select your PEM file. Click on again save private key. Click on S. Devops 7 a.m. batch. Okay. So once you provide it, now you can see PPK. Putty private key file is got it. Okay. So now in order to connect to this server, so there are two IP addresses are there. One is public and private. So which server you want to connect it? Just we need to select the IP address. Always we should choose the public IP address. So if you choose the private IP address, you will get connection request. Select the public IP. And so based upon the operating systems like AMI, so based upon your operating systems, our usernames will be varying. For example, if you are choosing the Ubuntu AMI, our username is Ubuntu. So if you are choosing the Linux, our username is EC2-user. If you are choosing Fedora AMI, the username is EC2-user. So most of the cases, EC2-user only, except Debian and Ubuntu. The usernames are for Debian AMI, it is admin. For Ubuntu, it is Ubuntu. So based upon your user creations, like when we are launching the instances, you are selecting the AMI. So based upon the AMI, AWS has fixed the username. So which AMI you are choosing it, I have to give the respective username. So currently I have chosen the Ubuntu. I have to provide the username as Ubuntu. So if you are selecting the Amazon Linux, so the username is EC2-user. So now to connect to the server, so just we need to get the public IP. So select this public IP, open your putty, enter your host name. Left side bar, we have SSH is there. Just expand that SSH. So there is authentication is there. So click on that authentication. So here we have the option called private key for authentication. So if you don't see this option, so expand this authentication. So from this, you can see somewhere private key for authentication. Always we need to see private key file authentication. Click on browse. Our PPK file is this one. Click on open. Accept. So it will ask for the login name. So my login name is, I've selected the Ubuntu. So Ubuntu. So once you see about the private IP, you have successfully logged into the server. So if you want to change the settings, directly right click, change settings, appearance, change it to some font. Okay. So now you can see the IP address of your private IP. So once you are able to see the private IP means we have successfully launched the server and we have successfully connected to the server. So how we are connecting it? So if you go to the security group, this is my security group of my server. So in the security group, defaultly it has providing the SSH 0.0.0. Means nothing but all the IP address it is providing the access. All the IP address is enabled. But if you have the key pair is with you, then only we can log into the server. Okay. Open level, port level, everybody has given the access. For every port, it is for every IP address, it is given access via port 22. So if you see, okay. So this is the way we can launch the server, we can connect to the server. So next class, I will show you how to connect to the Windows server. Any doubts, any questions, guys?
No, bro.
So if you have any doubts and questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll wind up the class. Okay, thank you, guys.